Indeed. We have Mr. KOFOD from the S&D Group.
Chairman and dear Commissioner, first of all, I'd like to thank you so much for the tax package and also your clear stand on the public country-by-country reporting. We look forward to get back to that discussion. Then maybe just an initial remark, also a little bit maybe to my good colleague, Gunnar Hökmark. I really think it's a fact that multinational companies' tax avoidance is a major threat to our welfare states, to free and fair competition, to SMEs that the Commissioner rightly say have a tax burden that is 30% higher than the multinationals. So therefore I think really it's about ensuring justice and equal competition. But I also want to say one more thing and ask you about this. Many multinational companies, as you know, they pursue this 0% tax bill by a lot of help from big advisory firms and financial institutions. They help to set up these dubious tax schemes to shift their profits from where they're made to tax havens. And in Tax Committee, it was one of the injustices we actually dealt with and want to see action on. So I want to ask you, what can we do to provide some kind of legal framework so that would provide sufficient sanctions against firms, banks, accounting firms, financial advisors, this whole industry, when they actually are engaged in these tax avoidance deals. I think that will be really crucial that there will be sanctions against them. And of course, if you are caught in promoting illegal tax avoidance, aggressive tax plannings, we need clear sanctions. I think in the worst case, I think it should be possible to revoke their business license if they are continuously doing these kind of things. So that would be my first question to you. Is there any initiative from the Commission, trying to look into this? Because I think it's really something we need to address the root causes of some of this as well. Thank you.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Commissaire.
Le combat contre les...
Thank you. Fighting tax abuse is important, and it goes above and beyond what we have put forward thus far. We know that there are limits to what we can do and there are limits to society's tolerance of aggressive planning and tax abuse. Therefore, we will go much further than what we're proposing now, ultimately, but this is the beginning, and we need to be coherent and consistent in what we're doing, and this is why I'm putting forward to you this initial package first. As I say, we're going to go further, but that it remains to be seen how we do that and when, exactly in what way. I'm in favour of country-by-country reporting, as I've already indicated, but we won't leave it at that. I am personally convinced that there is a sea change in the general political, cultural approach in society to these issues, and I think that we will take action which precisely reflects that. As I said, we will go further in the areas that you have mentioned, the ones that are of particular interest to you. We changed audit rules in 2014. We've been looking at the impact of these rules on companies. We've been looking at the wider fiscal implications, and we're thinking in terms of possible new legislative proposals. Thank you.
Darius Rosati.
Darius Rosati for the EPP.
Hello.
Pardon. Oui, je vous en prie. Please.
Okay. Just a small follow-up, because we have seen these tax rulings, as we have discussed before, by Commissioner Vestager against Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands with these illegal tax deals. So, as you know, when these rules have been published, of course, the ones who are actually perpetrators, the countries and companies, the countries have been rewarded by the revenue that they have lost, which is, I think, a very bad conclusion after these rulings. So I will ask you, Commissioner, actually under which commissioner's responsibility do this fall? Because I would like to see that the countries which are engaging in these illegal tax deals, that they're not being rewarded but actually punished when it's revealed that these are illegal and they don't receive the revenue. So I wonder, is there any legislation that will deal with that on the way, or how do we go about this? Thank you.
Je pense qu'un environnement plus transparent pour les...
Well, I think greater transparency for industry in general will help. This is obviously a difficult subject. It's one which can fall within the remit of a number of commissioners. As Alain Lamassoure has said himself, it cuts across the whole issue of own resources. Therefore, it involves Mr. Timmermans and Mr. Jeva, myself too. Chairman, well, Mr. KOFOD, I know you're going to be one of the co-rapporteurs, and we could certainly be putting forward recommendations along the line that you've just outlined. We've already covered this as a potential option in TAXE. Plus, it's not a fine, it's a call to pay back taxes at the instigation of the European Commission. And if the country has made an out-of-order tax agreement, which it means that it is not receiving taxes and improperly, then we can ask them to call in that tax.